Hi, welcome back to the channel. I'm Chris Burns from Techie Gurus, and let's talk about the three sections of the internet. What? Three sections? What? Three sections of the internet? What are you talking about? Bear with me. So, there's three sections of the internet. There's the clear web, the deep web, and then the dark web. So, what does that mean? So, the clear web is any part of the internet that can be indexed, that can be accessed from a browser or and regularly crawled. So, what does that mean? That means like Google, Bing, Yahoo can go out and find information, so it makes it easy for you to search. The deep web is the unindexed part of the internet. That means there is no crawling of it, it doesn't have access. And the dark web is a subsection of the deep web. And that's usually associated with illegal activity. So what I'll do now is let's break down really what each one means. So the clear web is pretty much anything you do on a normal day basis where you use like Chrome or Edge or Firefox or there's Brave browser, any kind of browser activity. When you go to Google or DuckDuckGo or Yahoo or Bing or whatnot and you use it, that's the clear web. When you use an application on your phone that has some sort of internet access, that would be considered the clear web. It could be considered the deep web if there's paywall, but for the most part, let's just assume that's the clear web. So let's move on to what is the deep web. So the deep web and the dark web sometimes are used interchangeably, but they're not the same. The deep web is really just anything that is not indexed by the internet, so it's not accessible through a search engine like Google. The deep web content includes things that are behind like maybe a paywall, or you have to sign in for credentials, so it could be an enterprise intranet, it could be something like your SharePoint access, that would be considered deep web. It also includes any content that its owners have blocked web crawlers from indexing. So a lot of times that could also mean medical records or fee-based content, membership websites, like I said, again, confidential corporate websites. There's just a few examples of what the deep web is. Estimates actually place the deep web at between 96 and 99% of the actual internet. So only a tiny portion of the internet is actually accessible through a standard browser, generally known as the clear web, and we've already talked about that. So let's move on to what is the dark web. So the dark web is a subsection of the deep web, and historically it's usually used for illegal activity. So you can buy credit cards, drugs, guns, stolen subscription credentials like maybe Netflix for sale, access to hacked bank accounts, like maybe a bank account that has $50,000 in it, you might be able to pay $300 to get access to it. What you do with that is up to you. You can also buy counterfeit currency. You can buy prepaid debit cards that have a certain balance on them. That's the dark web. Now, it's not always used for bad. It's also used for confidential things that people, like whistleblowers and things like that. There are some legitimate purposes or uses in the dark web, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's something you want to get to. So here's the other thing. To get to it, you can't just use Firefox. You can't use Chrome. You have to use something called Tor to actually access it. So I won't get into that today, but that's a different way of accessing it. So what does that mean for you? Well, in the next section, I'm going to cover out like what is on the dark web and what it really means for your business. All right, so let's talk about what on the dark web really is scary. So outside of buying drugs and guns and illegal stuff, there are things that hackers will share or threat actors will share, like ransomware as a service. So if I want to perform ransomware against a company, I can go out there and I can pay a monthly subscription fee, and somebody will give me the code, so I can just basically get you to run it and encrypt all of your stuff, and I don't have to develop it. I don't have to do anything. I can just buy it. Some of the other things that they'll do is they'll actually sell access into corporate networks, access into small businesses. So if you have some sort of tool or something that's available on the internet, maybe like RDP for Windows, where you can remote into a computer from outside, if they can figure out what the password and username is, they'll actually combine that into a bigger list and they'll sell that access to other people so that they can use it. And what will that person do? Well, one, they might just log in, they might steal some information, right? They might access certain tools that you have, they may they may steal your credentials, they may target you for phishing, they may try to steal your customer data, your employee data, your operational data, your financial data, maybe even some trade secrets or maybe like some intellectual property that you have. But also what they could do is they could also install a tool where they have remote access at all times and they just keep monitoring you. So maybe they're not going after you specifically, maybe they're going after one of your customers. So let's say you do business with a bigger customer. Well, if you're the entry point, they could leverage these tools to get into your business and then exploit another business. So I don't want to sell fear on this, but this is what happens. This is what can happen. So let's take this a little further though. There are good spots on the dark web. There are things that people are just trying to do that they just don't want to index. They don't want it publicly available. Like I said, whistleblowers are a big key. They can share information, they can talk about it, and they don't have to worry about it just being publicly posted. So where does that leave us? So it leaves us in a spot where most people don't understand that there's 3 sections of the internet. And I hope this was valuable for you in understanding that what you do on a daily basis might only be about 5% of the actual internet. And it can be less. It's anywhere between 2 and 5%. So what you see in a browser is one thing, and what you don't see in a browser is a whole other realm that you need to understand that exists today. So I just wanted to put this out there, explain it to you. If you have any questions, post down below. You can, again, post on our social media, ask us questions, anything. I'll post some links at the bottom if you want for like just definitions and things like that. So again, be safe out there, and if you have any questions or anything, just let us know. Thanks.